This episode is sponsored by the Breakthrough to Excellence Network Legacy Scale-Up Program, which is a one-on-one consulting program that will provide you accountability, strategy, and customization for your unique business needs. We all desire to scale our business without the overwhelm. Let's face it, we don't want to scale our businesses anymore in a chaotic environment. This program is tailor-made so you never feel like you're ever falling behind again. To find out more on how to work with us, go to www.jasminehaley.com. Welcome to the Breakthrough to Excellence podcast. I'm Jasmine Haley, healthcare provider turned educator, entrepreneur, and startup strategist. Not too long ago, I was burnt out, overwhelmed, depressed, and full of fear from a toxic work environment. I created my business out of necessity to create a legacy I can be proud of today. It helps me transform the lives of women every single day to pursue their dreams and entrepreneurial goals. I created this podcast to share the empowering stories of entrepreneurial women, help you break through self-doubt to your greatness, and share business strategies to help you create a thriving and profitable business. If you're an emerging entrepreneur or business owner that wants to create the mindset needed to escape burnout, reclaim your personal power, and pursue your entrepreneurial dreams, this podcast is for you. Stay tuned and listen in. Hey, welcome to another amazing episode. First of all, every episode that I'm going to be doing on this podcast is amazing. And I can't help myself because I'm extremely excited every single time I have the opportunity to introduce you with new content that's going to help empower you to take massive action in your business. I am Jasmine Haley. I am the host of the Breakthrough to Excellence podcast. And for this week, we are covering the topic, when to build your table instead of waiting for one. Now, for those of you that have been following me since I was in the healthcare field and dentistry and have pivoted now into my B2B coaching business, you may already know what it was like for me when I first entered into the world of entrepreneurship. When I started my business at that time, I knew I wanted to speak. There were no other Black dental hygienists that were speaking or in the speaking circuit. None. Okay. Out of thousands of hygienists, zero. And I knew that I wanted to do more. I knew I wanted to be in magazines and write for magazines. Yet when I opened them up, it didn't look like me at all. There was not an inkling of any person that looked like me. In fact, the magazine that I was reading often featured the same writers. So I actually had the nerve to write the editor at that time, his name was Mark, and say to him that we needed more diversity of writers, diversity of thought. We needed to have the opportunity for other clinicians to share, right? Because guess what? Times are changing. And he featured what I wrote him in the next editorial. And then I started writing. They actually gave me the opportunity to write. And it was the same even with my speaking. When I sent out an email to all of these organizations, no one responded except for one person that actually said, we can't at this time. She actually knew me, so she replied back. So what did I do? I created my own stage. I started hosting my own events. I put some skin in the freaking game, y'all. And I said, I'm not waiting for anyone to give me the opportunity. I've already wasted so many years waiting for that next opportunity. I was forced into entrepreneurship from a toxic work environment, and I was going to wait for the next thing to happen? No. No. So when is it the right time? And honestly, there isn't the right time. The time is now. The time was yesterday. The time was 3-4 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to listening to this training that I did live, is really just understanding, where does your story fit in to what I'm sharing? Where are you showing up for yourself? Or where are you not showing up for yourself? Because no one's going to toot your horn the way that you can. And here's the thing. When I started becoming visible in my industry, when I started speaking and podcasting and hosting my own events, I was so in the face of people that I became undeniable. Unfreaking deniable. And they weren't putting me on stages just because, y'all. They wasn't just putting me in there to fill in a quota. Okay. It was because I was affecting people's hearts. I was creating change. I was demonstrating that I was a leader and I had something to say that was meaningful and impactful and would shape anyone that had an open mind and was willing to listen. So I encourage you, if you're sitting on the sidelines waiting, I hope this message encouraged you to say, you know what, I'm not going to wait anymore. Because guess what? What quote did I feature in my book, Breakthrough to Excellence? That quote from Les Brown that lets us know that the richest place on earth is the graveyard, yo. And it's the richest place on earth. Why? Because that's where people allowed fear, they allowed trauma, whatever it is, to prevent them from moving forward with their book, with their business, with their event. Is there an idea that you're sitting on right now, waiting for that perfect time? Do you know when your time is up here on earth? We don't. So let's make every second count, y'all. Let's make every second count. Let's build our legacies now. Let's not wait. Let's build them now. This is why, even in my own rebrand, everything that I'm doing right now is all to help y'all appreciate how to scale that legacy, grow that legacy that you can be proud of. Because I believe you just got to believe for yourself as well. So I hope you enjoy this training. And if you're looking for more trainings, feel free. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook at It's Jasmine Haley. If this is an impactful message to you, share it with the people that you care about. Share it with the ones you love. Share it with your community. Because no matter where I show up, y'all, I'm going to always give you 150% spitting that hot fire. Okay? Okay? I'm going to always show up. In fact, at the time of this recording, I got a masterclass that's going to knock some people's socks off and it's going to help them build their legacy on stage. You're a speaker? Come holler at me. You need to be walking into those rooms like you want my ish. I wish y'all could see my face right now. All right? No more playing small. No more allowing fear to prevent you from reaching and honoring your purpose and your God-given talents. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoy this training, and I'll catch y'all next week.
Hey, y'all. How are you? Hope you are all doing well. I'm looking forward to having this discussion today. This is my weekly live. So I am broadcasting on IG. I'm broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, all that jazz. So you'll be able to catch this replay from any of those locations. Probably the best, easiest way you can find it is on IG. And my handler is at It's Jasmine Haley on Instagram, on Facebook, on Clubhouse. It's all the same. So you'll be able to find the information that you need. Okay. All right. So let's get into this topic. All right. So I prepared another acronym for you all to consider when you're looking at, like, should I start my own table? So the topic that we're covering today is when to build your own table, right? When should you be aware of that? When should you make that decision in your business? And I have a lot to say about this, but I'm going to try to keep it brief. And of course, we'll continue the conversation later on today inside of Clubhouse. So here's the thing. This is the reality. You either got time or you got money. Okay? That's it. And when you're building your business, you either have time or you got money. One of those, all right? Most of us, when we're starting, most of the people, the clients I have worked with, they're limited on the funds, but they definitely got the time, right? And for me, when I started my business, I definitely had more time than I had the capital to really raise and do all the things that I wanted to do in my business. And so I have seen from the people that have followed me over the years, a lot of people don't even realize, and this is what I've come to find out, even from interviewing hundreds of people, blogs, podcasts, talking with people, we are really more alike than we are different. And we all follow very similar patterns. And so what I've seen, especially from the people who have followed me for some time, they've, kind of consumed all of my resources, the free resources. They're a diehard, support, and I love them for that. I've gotten some time to get to know them and learn about their business, whether they're my client or not. And one of the things that I've seen with some of them that are currently struggling is they're waiting for the opportunity to come, right? They're just simply waiting for some magical wand to come up and say, boom, it's the right time. You've got the right venue. You've got the right industry. Now's the time. Now you have your time. And a lot of them aren't willing to ask for the help, right? Or they're not willing to invest in the help, getting a coach of some sort to help them in that process. And so they're just lingering away, just consuming all of this stuff and never taking action. And so one of the key things that I really want to encourage you to understand is that, again, the fundamental piece that we all have to understand is that you either have time and you have money. So time will give you the ability to hire the people to help you, to hire a team, a coach, whatever it is that you consider in your business. The time aspect, well, and if you don't have the resource to do that, you've got time to up your skills. You have time to do some research. You've got time to learn. But at some point in time, you've got to take some sort of action. My husband's sending me some emoji eyes. How you doing, honey? Okay. So this month, I just emailed my community, right? They get all the goods now. I'm really going to start really putting in all the good goods up in there, right? I had my highest grossing month in my coaching business alone. Just this month, I had my highest grossing month just coaching, all right? Now, what no one saw in the back end of me getting to this mark right now in my business is the amount of struggle and difficulty it takes to really understand really what you want and to get to a place of saying, boom, that's exactly what I'm going to do, right? And so in me doing this transition in my own business from a healthcare model of speaking at events and going to a B2B coaching business, I had to really start off on a new drawing board right here, right? But this is a fundamental piece that I missed. Even with me doing my pivot, the fundamental piece that I missed was understanding that when I first started my first business model, I didn't wait for nobody to give me a table, right? I started my own. I went out and I took what I wanted. Hands down. And so I continue to show up and take action in good times, right? Good times, all right? Favorable times and unfavorable times. So it all really comes down to a huge mindset shift that we have to make. And I'm going to give you some examples as I'm going through my acronym today that I want you to keep in mind if you're considering, should I start my own table or not, right? So here's the first thing I'm going to tell you. This is the acronym. It's PTP. All right. I got my notes here. This is what I'm looking down at. I am an educator at heart, so I'm always going to think of some sort of acronym. So it's PTP. All right. If you're watching live, go ahead and put that in the comments. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and put #replay. If you've ever dealt with any uncertainty on whether or not you should take action, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. All right. I need to know that you are feeling me and that you understand that you've experienced this in your own journey. Because the hardest part for most of us in entrepreneurship is feeling like we are alone. And we're not, y'all. We are not alone. I can't tell you. It doesn't matter what revenue stage you're in your business. We all get scared. We all get caught up in a sense of inaction. So the first P is preparation. Go ahead and type preparation. All right. You have to understand that when it comes to getting new opportunities, whether that's speaking, whether that's, getting on, stages, as I've stated before, whether that is getting opportunities to be able to write for magazines that you want to be featured in, just for you to get recognized for the work that you're doing because you are dope, right? All of those things are really, really important. But here's where the problem is that we are waiting for permission, and that's not being prepared for those opportunities. Being prepared for those opportunities are taking action, regardless of whether or not you're getting featured in your monumental, view of what you deem as success, right? And so when I first wanted to get into speaking, right, I went to a volunteer organization. I did my first course. And so I did it. And after I did that first course in 2015, nothing was happening. It was straight crickets. All right. So I decided to send a whole bunch of cold emails to people. I went and I looked up all these organizations' names. I looked at the people that would be potentially in charge with selecting speakers. And then I sent an email out to these individuals. And out of the numerous amount of emails that I sent, only one person replied back. That person actually knew me from a other event that we were at and said, "I'm sorry, but at this time we'll have to decline. But thank you so much for reaching out." Everyone else, straight, no answer. Okay, no response. Now, most people will be in a situation where they're like, "Oh, I shouldn't continue forward. This isn't for me. I don't know what to do. I just, maybe I need to just give up." All right. I want y'all to know that about 2 years later after that incident, they were requesting me to speak. What happened in between then? I decided, well, guess what? I'm going to prepare myself for the next opportunity. So I'm going to build my own stage, my own platform. I'm going to build my own events, and I'm going to start showing up and speaking until people realize what it is that I represent and how transformative my work can be for their organization. Now imagine if I decided to wait for permission, they would have never been able to see what it is that I had to offer. So by taking action, you're essentially preparing yourself for the next opportunity that can arise. And that requires you to have a huge amount of skin in the game that most people aren't really willing to risk. I am about to celebrate 5 years in business. Whoop, whoop. Okay. April is going to be 5 years in business. I'm going to have a party. I'm going to have a party just for that. Half of businesses don't make it to year 5. Okay. And I've had the same people following me for 5 years. And there's been no change. Maybe a couple of wins here and there, right? A couple of wins here and there, but no real, catastrophic, huge amount of change and where they're at. Now, it could be multiple reasons. It could be the fact that they're content where they're at. But for the most part, many of those individuals have gotten on calls with me and things of that nature and saying, "Oh, I want this and that." But are you preparing yourself for that? Are you putting skin in the game? Are you creating your own table? Are you getting visible? Are you doing the things necessary to prepare you for those stages? If I didn't do what was necessary for me at that point in time to create my own stage, I wouldn't have been able to get a 5-figure check 4 years later, right? I wouldn't be able to make thousands of dollars to support my family if I wasn't willing to prepare myself for that opportunity and create my own freaking table. So if you've been waiting for an opportunity, I'm telling you right now, it's time for you to get prepared for that and start taking some action right now towards that. There's a quote from Oprah. She says, "I believe luck is preparation meeting opportunity. If you hadn't been prepared when the opportunity came along, you wouldn't have been lucky." So, of course, I'm not going to get into, like, for me, okay, here's another one. The old saying is luck is when preparation meets opportunity. All right. So she had I don't know where it was that I saw that, but it really, really, really resonated with me. And I hope that it resonates with you too, because we have to be at the point right now that we have to say, what else can I do? Have you truly tried everything? Have you truly tried everything to get to the goals that you want to get to? And what it's going to take is a huge amount of courage on your part. All right? Because that is necessary. To step up and be on this live, to show up every single week, to show up for the last 5 years in business, to decide to pivot and to do the work that I'm doing right now, courage. All right, here is T. Here's the T. Toxicity. Preparation, toxicity. Okay? So we just went over preparation. Now it's toxicity. With toxicity, it's really important to understand how to avoid toxicity in your life. Why is it important? I have devoted an entire chapter inside of my own book on toxicity because it is real, y'all. And we are often making decisions of allowing it into our life, which is preventing us from getting us to a place where we're comfortable enough to build our own table. So there's a comment here. I love this from Susan. 10 years ago, when I started getting involved in oral cancer, I was creating my own stage and branding myself without knowing it. Kind of a good thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that means you got to purchase whatever software you need to purchase so you can build your own stage. Then go ahead and do that, y'all. Go ahead and do that. To focus on the possibilities. So when I mentioned courage before, to focus on the possibilities, to build your own table, to create your own space to stand in whatever industry that you're in requires you to see the possibilities. And it's not always an easy task. For me, thank God, my number one strength is futuristic. So naturally, I'm always thinking about what are the possibilities? Where are the other places that I can go within my business, within my life? And what it takes is a huge amount of courage in order to do so. But the problem is that many of us are surrounded by multiple forms of toxicity. Naturally, science has shown, as I've shown in my book, Breakthrough to Excellence, science has shown that naturally we think thousands of thoughts every day. 80 or 85% of them are negative, and 95% of those thoughts repeat on a daily basis. So we naturally are inclined to be biased towards negativity. And then we add in the fact that we may have well-intentioned people in our life who say, well, are you sure about that? Well, and they may be well-intentioned, but it could be discouraging. Or we may have individuals in our life who are narcissistic personalities. Okay, we're going to get even deeper in that. And I talk about that in my book, that are really sapping the energy and our soul out of us. And they're not good for us so that we can continue moving in a place where we're honoring our God-given talents and our purpose. So toxicity can show up in many places. And if we're not firmly rooted down in who we are as a person and what talents and strengths that we have, we'll be easily deterred when you're trying to make your own table. Thankfully, I was blessed with the most incredible coach at the very beginning of my career at the very beginning of my business. Her name is Nikita. And she really poured into me where I was lacking and not knowing that I was enough, and giving me permission to ask for what I want. All of these things I needed to hear over and over again. And I was surrounded by other women who supported me as I was shifting into this space of creating my own table and saying, this is what I desire. This is an impact that I want to make in the lives of the people I choose to impact. And so when you are in this stage of business, many of us are trying to do it alone. We're doing all these free resources. We're doing all this stuff, and you can't. It is nearly impossible. It's why people spend thousands of dollars to join mastermind programs, to work along with other people in business, because they understand that that amount of courage that you have is necessary. But the levels of toxicity that could surround you in multiple ways, we don't have time to get into all of them, could really prevent you from standing strong and continuing towards the goals that you want to achieve in your business. And so one of the key things I had to do was see how I was allowing it into my own life, from the organizations I was volunteering with, from some of the even toxic behaviors that I began exhibiting, from me being in a toxic work environment and not setting up boundaries. Okay. Those were some of the things that were going to rob me of fully stepping into my God-given talents and getting to a place where I am today, fully headed towards a direction that gives me the most fulfillment in my personal life and in my business. And that's all we desire. We're not meant to live a life where we are struggling and we are unhappy. It's the reason, or we're full of stress. You see automatically that our bodies are not built to handle that. It's the reason why you see, when you have heightened levels of stress that never go down, how cortisol kills the rest of your body, right? And we decrease our lifespan because of those things. So let's get to the root of the issue. And a lot of times it could be what's surrounding you as you're going and you're pursuing these goals. And building a table requires you to have communal support and internal transformation to continue to move forward. All right, here's the last piece. So we just did P and we just did T, which is preparation. We did toxicity. And now we have one more. And this is patience. And when I wrote this out, I was like, go ahead and type patience in the chat. When I wrote this out, I was like, oh my gosh, do I really want to put this? I mean, there's so much I can say in this process, but I think the biggest part is really the mindset shift necessary to stay the course when you're building your own table, and it requires patience. So let me tell you about the first event that I hosted, right? So the first event that I hosted was interesting. I had ran out of money. I had basically paid off everything I needed to pay off, but I was like, there was no excess. So it was like whatever revenue I brought in, that was it. The expenses, it took care of that. I did not plan accordingly. I didn't know, because I wasn't hosting my own events at that time. That was my very first one, how much food I needed, right? I thought I had enough, which you always order a little bit more. And so breakfast time, guess what happened, y'all? Ran out of food. I ran out of food, okay? And for me, being a type A personality and wanting to make sure everything is just right, I was totally embarrassed. And did the guests know? No, right? Like, I had to just work it out with management and say, hey, we need more or whatever. And it came through. Paid out of my own pocket to keep things running and going smoothly. It wasn't the best. It wasn't ideal. It wasn't like this beautiful buffet that I wanted. But guess what? My first event, when I read the reviews from the people that attended, they were like, this was amazing. This was great. You know, because at what I kept at the forefront was, okay, the food may not be spectacular right now, but are they feeling empowered? Are they feeling that they can take their what they've learned here and really start an amazing career in dentistry. And that goal was achieved. So the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because when you decide to create your own table, when you are creating your own brand, deciding not to wait, okay, it will require a significant amount of risk. And oftentimes that risk will entail some sort of failure. And most of us, our egos are so, they run our lives so deeply that we're not willing to risk damaging our ego. So you got to really ask yourself, have I really not stepped up enough within my own business, created my own table because I'm afraid of failure? Or am I telling myself that if I invest in this, next program or whatever it is that I know that can help change the trajectory of my business, there's this fear that if I do it, I'm going to fail? We got to ask some of those questions because, for me, it was a huge amount of risk for me to have my own events and then to do another one and then to do another one and then to do another one and then another one and then start another business and do another one. I've learned a lot along the way, right? But each time those mistakes or failures or lack of sales or lack of recognition or nobody watching me right now, I've got 2 people on Instagram and I got 2 people on Facebook. And I'm still showing up as if I got 100 people watching me right now, right? So when we look at these false measures of success, are you truly being patient and honoring the process that it takes to grow something of value? A lot of times we want this immediate gratification in business. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. I've seen it happen so many times. It doesn't work like that, y'all. I had the highest grossing month right now in coaching for this month, right? Before reaching this mark, and y'all who are on my list, y'all know exactly what I made for this month. Before reaching this, I had to have a failed launch. I had to do it wrong multiple times. I had to create a platform and make mistakes. Are you willing to honor the process to get to the desires and the goals that you deserve and are worthy of? A lot of us have our own selves preventing us from the levels that we can reach. We get in our heads so much, and I'm guilty of it too. But at some point in time, though, the difference between you and I is that I've taken action. Go ahead and put action in the comments. We've taken action. Those entrepreneurs that you see and you're inspired by, they've taken action. I don't care what business that you have, the form that you have, the principles for business and just stepping out there all require some sort of mindset shift. They require something out of us that's going to feel uncomfortable. So the last thing that I'm going to help, that I want to, share with you is this. We always have a choice. We have a choice, right? We can currently stay where we're at right now in our business, or lack thereof, because I know a lot of people follow me that haven't started yet. You can currently stay where you are and just, sit in those feelings a little bit. Let it marinate. Are you currently feeling frustrated in your business? Are you feeling like you're hitting spaghetti on the wall? Do you feel like you're dealing with feelings of guilt because you're not spending enough time with your family? I reached my highest grossing month in coaching working less. Okay? Are you currently feeling that way? Are you feeling that you want to quit because everything you envision for your business isn't quite where you want to be. Sit in those feelings. How do they make you feel? Does it make you cry at night? Some nights? Because I know for sure that's how it made me feel. How does it feel sitting in that place, right? So that's option one. And then option two is actually stepping forward and taking some action, getting the help you need, but dealing with the discomfort of the unknown, some of the risk of putting yourself out there and being seen, and the discomfort of the mindset shifts necessary to be a true CEO of your business and to make it profitable, right? Or to scale it. Think about what those feelings would feel like, right? In the midst of your process, but ultimately how you would feel once you've attained your goals. Which one you want? Because you're gonna have to choose, honey. Which option you want? You want one or two? Y'all want one, feeling incapable, frustrated, ready to quit, overwhelmed, or do you want the other option of some of the discomfort of doing the shifts needed for you to reach the heights in your business that you're deserving of? But the end game goal is you're honoring your God-given purpose and your talents. Which one you want? Boo boo. And if the option is number two, then get out of your daggone feelings and get to action. And if you're stuck and you're like, well, Jazz, what action do I need to take? Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm a business strategist and I focus on the growth. And I'm here to help you get the clarity that you need to build the strategic plan necessary so you can reach your goals. You can spend thousands of hours, which is totally fine because you either got time or money, right? Or you can take the risk of getting the help that you need and using the experience of someone that's been through that can help you get through that and avoid the mistakes that can cause you more heartache. So I want to invite you, if you're in that place and you're feeling like, all right, I've been in business, I know it can be more than this. I know I'm made for more. I know God wants more for me. And you're stuck. I'm going to invite you to hop on a call with me. All right. Send me a DM on Facebook. Send me a DM on Instagram. I will send you the direct link for you to set up a 15-minute discovery call with me so we can talk about where you're at. And I ain't pitching nothing to you if I can't help you. I'm going to send you on your way. You know, we can cry together. We can hug each other, whatever you need to do. Virtually hug, you know what I'm saying? But get on the phone and talk to someone. Stop hiding behind the veil of perfectly curated feeds and this veil of I'll figure it out on my own. Every coach has a coach. Every business has gotten the help that they needed to get them to the next level. And oftentimes we have to be willing to build our own table in the process of building our brands and building our businesses. The fact of the matter is no one knows who the heck you are. No one knows. No one knows who the heck I am in the business industry right now. They don't know who the heck I am, right? Dentistry, I've built a brand, but that took years. And yet I'm still standing here because I choose the discomfort of the unknown and following my God-given talents and my intuition that's leading me in a different direction than the discomfort of staying someplace that I wasn't fully serving and honoring who I was. We all have a choice. So I hope this made you feel empowered. I'm going to drop my link to set up a call with me in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, hearing this on the podcast, feel free to email me. All right, y'all, I'll see you next week. My topic is going to be fire next week. And again, every Wednesday at noon, I'll be on IG Live and on Facebook. And then I will continue that conversation on Clubhouse at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got a lot that happens on Clubhouse. So you definitely need to follow me if you really want to be introduced to amazing entrepreneurs, but also continue to learn from me. Anyway, you want to stay up to date with me, follow me at It's Jasmine Haley. Join my email list. You'll hear, all the things, all the jazz. It's been a pleasure. It's been real. Make sure that you all keep pushing forward. And if you need any assistance, do not fail to reach out to me, to DM me. If I am not able to provide assistance to you, I know a ton of heart-centered and purpose-led entrepreneurs that are ready to welcome you with open arms. All right, y'all. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the show. Dive in deeper by visiting the show notes for this episode or listening to more episodes on jasminehaley.com. If you found value in the show, share with a friend or leave us a review. I'll see you next time.